Alright, so today we're going to be doing something different. This is the first time I'm coming on here talking, so I'm just going to basically kind of run you through a beat that I'm going to make in real time. And I'm going to kind of make the beat, and then in between I'm just going to like stop in between, just kind of run you through my thought process and what I'm kind of thinking as I'm going along. So let's get started. So usually I kind of start out, either I'll make the melody myself or else I use a loop. For these videos it's kind of easier just to get a loop in and kind of work with other people. So shout out to David Casher for the loop. While I'm listening to the loop, I'm cutting up all the stems just to, just so I can see if I can manipulate them in any way afterwards to kind of add or change to the loop in any way, shape or form. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I like to pitch it up or throw it through like, I don't know, halftime or something, just to change it up in different parts of the beat to make it kind of interesting, if you know what I mean. So first I'm just going to add a very simple kind of drum bounce, start off with clap, hi-hat, just to kind of get a feel for it and kind of feel it out and see where I kind of want to take it. You don't want to overthink it too much, you really just want to make it simple and nice so that an artist's vocal can sit easy on top of it. To this stage, now I'm happy to start adding my 808 pattern. But first, everyone please always do this, because I feel like a lot of producers forget the mixing side of stuff, and you don't have to go too crazy in it, but just trust me, when it comes to having loops that have bass sounds like this one in here, like that just takes up the same sound area as the 808s. You won't hear your 808 as crispy and clean as you want it to, and that's why people always ask, oh, why is my beat sound muddy, or why can't I hear my 808? Sometimes it's because of that. So let's go clean this up first. So basically when the 808 comes in, but even with that, that's still not enough for me. So what I like to do is, say with this bass track, I'm going to make this unique, and I'm going to just send this all to the to a mixer track, and then what I'm gonna do is just cut out the low end, kind of just simply like this. You hear that whoom, you have that like sound there, the whoom, 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 whoom. If you listen now, it's gone. And again, you don't have to go crazy with it, like pulling it all the way up here, but just enough. You'll hear yourself. You really got to just use your ears and pull it to where you can hear the 808 nice and it doesn't affect the melody at all. So there's that. Once I get kind of here and I'm listening to all the pattern and the 808 notes, sometimes I kind of feel like for this note, for example, it's not hitting as clear as I want it to. So basically I'm just gonna simply do is just pitch everything up by 2 or 3. We'll see what it sounds like pitched up by 2. As you can hear straight away, all the notes are hitting right, and like sometimes some people are like, oh, this beat's so cool, but I can't hear all the 808 notes properly. You really just have to play around with what key you're pitching your sample to. So don't be afraid to change it, like just because you think, oh, I got it in this key, doesn't mean you need to necessarily use that key. Just move it up to where you feel sounds right. Now, when it comes to kicks, I know there's a bit of controversy around kicks at the moment. Some people not liking them, some people liking them. I think if you make a kick that can punch through and it doesn't affect the 808, you're cool. But don't, in my opinion, I mean, there's no rules, but like, you know, I think the best way to kind of use a kick is be creative with it. You don't have to hit it all in the same notes, all in the same time. You know, put it in different slots and see what pockets it fits with the best, and you know, you can just use it as one part of the hook rather than the whole hook, if that makes sense. And we'll kind of get back into that more as we get into structuring at the beat. But when looking for a kick, I always want I just want one that will pop out and like I know it's gonna kick through the 808. So here none are really catching my ears. Let's try. Like this one, for example. Let's see what this sounds like. Now it's time to arrange the beat. Really, when it comes to arranging the beat, I don't overcomplicate it too much. I have a few, 2 or 3 maybe, like different arrangements that I would switch between, but for this one I'm just going to keep it simple and have a nice intro, 8 bar intro, and then straight into the hook. I'm going to move the kick to the right side of the hook. I'm going to have the snare in the second half, bring over everything, remove the clap. Where's the clap? Remove the clap for that side. Really simple. So what I like to do in the second half of hooks is, if the sample doesn't change, I'm just gonna bounce out what I have, especially if I'm using loops as well. I'm just gonna bounce out what I have, and then I'm gonna pitch it up and put it through reverb. So you hear that sounds really not nice in the ear. Once I throw a bit of this on it, it should automatically sound better, and I'm going to just EQ as well, a bit of the low end and the high end out. So what I've done there is I've just EQ'd the low end and the high end just so I can get a nice sweet spot, so it can kind of shine through the original melody. And I also threw a stereo imager on it, just so that when, say, if the audio is what's the best way to explain this? If the audio is like here, and I wanted to shine through here, I can do this with a stereo imager. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. You can kind of see with the visual, this is before and around here is after. So usually always not always, but a lot of the time for the first verse, I like to just throw in a halftime version of the melody. So I just bounce out the melody, throw it through halftime. If you don't know what halftime is, it's a really cheap plugin. It's this plugin right here. It's €10 or dollars, wherever you're from. It's a really good plugin. It takes any kind of melody or loop you have and it pitches it down and makes it basically halftime. It does what it says. And it's a really cool plugin because there's so much possibilities with it. You can take the mix down and you can changing the timing of what way you want it to chop, and there's loads of cool benefits to it, but I think it's just a cool one to have, to change up melodies just to make it sound more interesting again. Again, you see me EQing, just all these small stuff really make a difference at the end of your beat, just to kind of make it sound glued together in a nice mix. This stuff really does matter, and it only takes 2 seconds of your time, you know, and I think it's worth it, rather than having a really muddy sounding mix. For a beat, you can make it sound really professional with just a small bit of listening and paying attention. Throw on like a small riser or some sort of an effect just to make the intro lead into the hook, and then we're going to be pretty much done. That's pretty much it. I mean, I just did that in how long? That took me 24 minutes, and I was commentating with you. So if I wasn't here talking, that could have been a 10-15 minute beat. So you can see how quickly you can get these out if you just stay creative and just keep going, you know what I mean? I hope you found this valuable, and